Hello everybody, my name is Pablo, I'm from Glen Royal Hotel, and today I'm going to be making for you Christmas pudding with brandy sauce. Okay, so we're going to start, you have here golden raisins, sultana raisins, and dried cranberries. We're going to use apples as well. This Christmas pudding is going to be vegetarian. You're going to use the vegetarian sweet, so it's going to be suitable for the vegetarians as well. Okay, so we're going to start mixing our dried berries here. We have about 300 grams there of golden raisins, 200 grams of sultana raisins, 200 grams of dry cranberries. Mix our apple there. Roughly chopped apple. Self-raising flour. Breadcrumbs, fresh breadcrumbs. It's gonna make our Christmas pudding lighter. So I prefer to use a little bit more in our recipe to be a lighter Christmas pudding. And our vegetable stew. Okay, so it's pretty easy. You just mix everything together at the beginning. Have a mix pill. And before we mix that, you're gonna grease our molds. It's up to you. You can choose a bigger mold or a smaller mold. Okay? I'm gonna grease that with butter. Okay. These small individual portions here is gonna cook quicker, of course. Now, I'm gonna leave this pose on the side. I'm gonna use that in a minute. We're gonna put lemon zest. About two lemons for this recipe. And of the same lemon, I'm going to use the lemon juice. Okay, so just squeeze in there. Right. Now, last, our brown sugar. I'm gonna give a quick stir on it. So this recipe, you can make about 4 of the large ones and 8 of the small ones. Nice mixed. Okay. And the last ingredient now here for our Christmas pudding mix, it's gonna be the eggs. 4 eggs. Okay, just beat the eggs. Quick beating. All over. And now hands on. Okay. Until well combined. Mix it really well. For that perfect taste of Christmas now, I'm gonna use our mixed spiced one tablespoon of nutmeg, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and mix it again. I'm gonna place them in our molds. This mold I have here is about 1 kilo mixing here. This about 200 grams. So press well in the mixing bowl. Sorry, the mold. And the small one. Our baking parchment is for the big one, for the small one, and the tin foil. So the tin foil, this size, big enough to cover the top of the bowl, and the baking parchment to do a cartouche this way. So we fold 1, fold 3, fold, fold, and you have a perfect circle. On top, same for the small one. Okay, and now tin foil on top. Of both. Make sure it's not burst the tin foil, because it's gonna steam and the water cannot go inside of the pudding or it's gonna be a mess. So now we're going to just very well. Okay. And the same for the small one. So the steam won't go in the mold. Okay. Nice and tight. Okay. And now we're gonna cook it. You can have a saucepan with the water up to the half of the bowl, and you're gonna steam the big one for about 4 hours and the small one for 2 hours, You can use another pot for the small one because they're going to be immersed in the water, and you don't want that. You want just the water to the half of the bowl. And I'm going to steam the big one for about half an hour, covered, and open time to time. If you need to top up the water, top up with hot water. And while it is cooking, we're going to make our brandy sauce now. So for our brandy sauce, you're going to need butter, flour, sugar, brandy, and milk. Okay, we're going to start making the roux, which is a base for the white sauce. You can use for the bechamel. Roux is basically same part of fat and flour. Put in your flour. I'm going to cook this flour in the butter for about 2 minutes. Nice. Flour is cooked. So now you add the milk slowly. Bit by bit. And again. This recipe of brandy sauce, you have 50 grams of butter, 50 grams of flour for half a liter of milk. And of course, brandy is to taste. Huh? More is better. You don't want clumps in your sauce, so start mixing slowly until it's binded. And then, now at this stage, you can add all your milk. And cook for another 2 minutes. Add your brandy and your sugar, 50 grams of sugar. Cook for another 2 minutes. And at this stage, our Christmas pudding is still cooking. Okay, so this is our Christmas pudding after cooked. Okay, of course, gonna let it cool down before we put our hands on it. Okay. And then you unmold and of course the traditional brandy. And at this stage, our sauce is ready. So we pour over some nice decoration. And voila. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Taste of Kildare. My name is Ciaran Knowles from the Silken in Kildare town. Today we're going to be making some traditional mulled wine followed by a white Christmas margarita. For the for the mulled wine, we're going to use Chilean Merlot. There's going to be a lot of cherry plum taste in this. It's going to complement the smell as well when we add in the cinnamon. So we're going to put that into the pan. Now we're just going to put this at a medium temperature. We don't want to boil it, we just want to simmer it, and you'll smell all of the plum taste. This should only take about 10 minutes, and with a whole bottle you should get about six servings out of it. Just ladle that around. While the wine is starting to heat, we'll start adding ingredients. Just add a little dash of cinnamon. And 3 or 4 cloves. And you're going to add a little bit of honey just for the sweetness. Maybe a couple of shots should be enough. Just be able to twist that around. Again, this should take about 10 minutes just to heat up. You don't want to let it boil, just let it simmer until you're able to serve. Very quickly you should smell a lot of the Christmas smells, the cinnamon smell, and start the honey. Add a few star anise as well, just 3 of them. And again, that's just adding to the smells. And the reason why we choose a Merlot instead of something like a Cab Sav, you get a lot of a plum smell and taste. That'll definitely complement those Christmas smells in the house. And then you add a shot of brandy as well. And again, you don't want to let that boil at all. You just want to let that simmer on the top. Now the last thing to put in then, you get a full orange. Slice it into circles. Got 6 of them there. That'll be the last thing you'll add into your pot. So in the meantime, while you're letting that heat, you can start preparing your garnish. So we'll take another one of our orange circles. I'll add some cloves to it. Get some more cloves. So just place the cloves in each quadrant. You're going to have 2 cinnamon sticks as well. We'll just leave them here until they're ready to go in. Add in your cloves and orange, and your 2 pieces of cinnamon. Now that's our first drink done, so let's move on to our second drink. So our second drink is a Christmas time margarita, which is going to be the usual tequila based. We're going to have coconut milk in it as well to give it that Christmassy theme. And we're going to add some ice, and it's going to be a blended cocktail. Start with about 2-3 cups of ice, depending on the size of your blender. And we're going to add a shot of tequila. It's already made up. We're going to then add a shot of triple sec. We're going to fuse that together with a little bit of lime juice. Have the usual margarita taste. I'm going to coat them all together with coconut milk. So we're looking at around 250 mils of coconut milk altogether. So that's this. Now for this one, we want to create a little bit of a snow feeling for it. So you can see it all mixed together. We're going to use the blender to liquefy that together, and we're going to serve it into our glass. Now, you don't want to leave that too long. You can still see the ice inside it, so you don't want it totally liquefied. Now, while you're waiting for that, then what we'll do is we'll garnish the glass. So what I've got here is I've got some coconut shavings. So to allow that to stick to the circular of the glass, we're going to put in some lime. So just cut a lime halfway, just rub it around the sides. You can see the juice then sticking to the sides. And then just circle it around. Now, add your margarita. If you want to add a couple of cranberries then on the side, just as a garnish. And there you have the white Christmas margarita.